One, two, three. Hello, good morning. This is me, Rabah Fatima, and today I'm here with my podcast, The Power Minutes, where we bring your powerful ideas and voices in just a few meaningful minutes. I'm your host, Rabab, and today I'm truly honored to welcome a very special guest, Gretchen Rowe. Gretchen is a retired elementary school teacher from Seattle, Washington, with a lifelong passion for education and peace building. But retirement hasn't slowed her down. She is also the inspiring foundation of Peace Camp International, an incredible initiative that connects you across Seattle, Uganda, and India, promoting understanding, kindness, and global citizenships. Through her work, Gretchen is helping children grow not just as student but as a peacemaker. So, welcome to Miss Gretchen in Power Minutes. How are you?
Thank you. I'm fine. Thank you for having me.
So, can you please tell me about the journey of teaching and how you started and what experience you learned? So, some amazing memories which would you like to discuss with me?
Well, I started out in college as my undergraduate degree was in recreation, parks, and leisure studies. I was interested in the time that I was going to school, computers were just becoming more in and even more than they are now. Well, it was the beginning of it. And I was more interested in helping people um, learn how to relax and enjoy nature and appreciate nature. And I wanted to work with kids and take them out in nature and work within the park system that we have in the US. Um, Later, I decided to go back to school and get my teaching certificate because I was really interested in from the time I was 5 years old. I have a picture of myself and it says, when I grow up, I want to be a teacher. And so um, I taught for almost 20 years, kindergarten, first grade, third grade, fourth grade. And then I ended my career as a reading specialist, which I enjoyed that the most. I'm very passionate about teaching kids how to read, and a lot of what I noticed is a lot of their confidence in school. Um, they have more confidence if they are able to read and they feel like they are successful readers. So I really was interested in helping kids who didn't come to school with that kind of natural ability and helping them feel confident that you can do it and you can learn. So that's the beginning of
So,
my
Miss
that's my
Gretchen, amazing. So, have you ever experienced about the Montessori program or the experience with the Montessori students?
I have actually, when I was in college, I was a live-in babysitter, a nanny for three boys who went to Montessori school. And I like that methodology. I haven't been trained in it, but I really appreciate and admire the philosophy of learning through experience. And um, in my own classroom, even though I taught in the public schools in a more uh, traditional but In my own classroom, I tried to provide as much hands-on experience as possible and real life experiences so that the kids would have real life situations to put their knowledge onto or to make connections. And because I feel like that really enhances the more we use of our body and our previous knowledge, the more we can retain, and I feel like the more our minds open up.
That's great. So, is there any strategies or activities like, I have remembered that I played the KWL activity with my students. So, do you have any good memories by playing the activities and the strategies with the students?
I think the best training I had, um, well, there are a couple, when I was getting my teaching certificate, there were two things that I remember that I really held on to when I first started teaching. One was management by walking around. So, classroom management, walk around the classroom, don't just stand in the front of the room, but actually walk around the classroom. So, management by walking around was one of them. And the other one was monitor and adjust. So, as you're teaching, monitor the students and the back and forth of the teaching and learning. And if it seems like the students aren't really engaged, then adjust your teaching. Or if the activity seems too difficult or too easy, then adjust the activity. So those were two things. And then when I started teaching, we had a really good literacy training throughout our whole school district in Seattle. And they used, we were taught many different thinking maps. And so we would teach the kids, how to use these thinking maps, whether it be to organize information, to do research, or whether it be brainstorming on what to write about, or even I would use them in math. I would use a bubble map and put a number like, say, 25 in the middle. And then the kids would, they'd have to show different ways to equal 25, but it wasn't in linear fashion. It was kind of like little bubbles, and then you attach it to that number 25. So the thinking maps were a real, I found them to be a really effective tool. And the other tool I used, which was storytelling, reading aloud, and also, especially when it came to creative writing and poetry, I would bring in my own journals that I used for my own writing and poetry and drawing. And I showed them that writing doesn't just happen just by writing. You have all these rough drafts, all these ideas, and you can incorporate drawing. And if you can't think of anything to write, then just draw, doodle, and then something will come to you, and then you start writing. And so I noticed that when I showed my journals to my students, their own writing just exploded. And because oftentimes they think, oh, writing, I just have to write. But when I showed them that you can incorporate other creative methodologies with that, then you can, your creativity just opens up and you can write about anything. So those are just a few samples.
Any difference like a conventional schooling system, as now this is the era of AI, artificial intelligence. So as you are experienced teacher with the primary and the students of the intermediate or secondary level, So, what difference you feel in this era, like conventional school system or the AI?
Uh, well, here in the Seattle school district, the kids were given they've been given computers probably 3 or 4 years ago. Well, during COVID, actually, everyone had some kind of electronic device. And in my experience with teaching and using technology, I've had to teach them how to use the technology. Because the minute you open up the computer, there's so many different places the kids can go. They can go to Google and Google their favorite sports team. They can do this, and they can not do the task at hand. So I feel like here, um, part of the part of the struggle. Now, I haven't been teaching when AI has been. I mean, it's been there, and it's in a smaller way. Now it's just exploded. Um, but I've had to we've had to teach the kids how to look something up. Say if they're writing a report, they look something up on the computer. They can use AI or the Google features, whatever. They get the information, but how do you take that information and then digest it and then regurgitate it? Put output in your own words rather than just copying what has been said. So that's something that I teach in the classroom. Like you can use AI, you can use the technology, but don't forget about yourself. You also have to use your own brain and all of that, and all of it can work together. Because if you forget about yourself, I'm not I'm not sure how much retention there is in the learning. Just like what we were talking about Montessori, and the more we use our own um, our own senses, the more we are learning, the bigger our learning is. It's not just information, but it's more than that. We're also learning about ourselves in the process. I don't know if that makes sense, but I'm very much from a holistic background, or philosophy, I should say. So anything new that comes into education, I feel like the we shouldn't just idolize that new thing, but integrate it with what we ourselves were born with and what we have. Otherwise, we're just limited to that one thing, but we don't know new ideas that we can bring with it.
So, Gretchen, you use ChatGPT in your daily life. If you use, and what kind of works you do on ChatGPT?
I don't use Chat GPT. Um, I actually
Why?
maybe I will in the future, but I don't. I don't. I like. I'm at the age where a more philosophical age where I like to read books and reflect upon myself with the reading. Um, and I find the technology, the quickness of it, it um, it gives you information, yes, but um, the deeper reflective part I don't get. But maybe I'll use it. And the other thing I'll tell you is everything with technology, in my experience, you always have to upgrade, and it always costs money. So the more you use, the more memory it takes. Then you have to get a new phone or a new this or a new that. And I'm at that age where um, I don't really need it. I would rather ask a friend.
Gretchen, that I have 12 years experience in teaching primary school. But before joining the Rehane school, which is world first AI school, I never used ChatGPT or the AI tools. But after joining the AI school, I cannot live without usage of ChatGPT or AI. And this is the amazing journey that I not experienced in my last 12 years, but now I am enjoying my journey, my teaching journey. So this is the beauty of Rehane school curriculum. And the most interesting fact that in our school we don't have bags, we don't have copies, we don't have pen pencil, we just have laptop and mobile. So have you ever experienced a school that do not have books and copies?
Uh, for me, no. That your this one is probably the first one. Although I think I saw something in the New York Times ab- about a school, or I don't know, maybe it wasn't. I can't remember exactly, but I saw something about um, will maybe it was, will there be schools like that or something. But no, I haven't. And yeah, that the Rayhan schools, I know that they do those like it's the first school, and I know that um, they believe, like your school believes, that it's the future and all of that, and I'm sure it is, but it's part of the future. There are many things that are, life is full, as many people as there are that many ideas and that many needs in the world. So I guess I believe in a balance. I think it's great that um, maybe where in Pakistan there's the access to technology isn't as um, it's not as reachable as it is here in the U.S. There's so much of it in the U.S. Actually, a long time ago, when I first started teaching, I read a book from a woman who wrote about education, and she said kids who grow up in um, industrialized countries, basically, with kids who grow up in high tech societies, they should their education should be a low tech education school, because they're already at home with the high tech. Kids who grow up in low tech societies should have more high tech, because at home or whatever they already are, using their experiences and interacting with people and all of that. So I think it's a depends on the society and where how the child is growing up and what kind of environment they're growing up in. But I don't know. I don't have answers. I just try to keep my mind as open as possible. And I've eaten my words so many times in my life that I just try to just sit back and watch, and um, try not to stick my foot in my mouth.
So, Gretchen, that as we believe that the culture or the student center classroom culture is important rather than teachers classroom center. So what do you think, which classroom is more effective and more give opportunities to learn, like a student center classroom or the teacher center classroom? What's your experience?
In my experience, the um, student-centered classroom is really important. Um, where I got my teaching certificate was more at an alternative university, and so we had a lot of training in, the teacher as like a guide, as a facilitator, and the teaching and learning are together. And that's always what I told my kids, like we're teaching and learning together. The teacher has to be there. I mean, it's good for the, I believe that you need the person as a guide. There has to be someone with more experience to guide as far as how to keep things going in a direction. Um, and I've had kids. Actually, I had a student when I was teaching third grade. He was really, really good in math, and when he explained things, he explained it so clearly. He could explain things. He explained long division more succinctly, more clearly than I did, and I could see that. It was really strange. And so I taught it, and then I had him come up and teach it also, because I knew that some kids could understand me, but there were probably kids that could understand him better than me. So, I believe in both the student centered and teacher as a facilitator, as a guide, and everybody working together.
That is amazing. Gretchen, the last month I have shared the video and I shared my emotions, my feelings that I felt in my life first time. The age of 8 years, 9 years, 10 years, students are my teachers. They have more knowledge, which don't I have. So I announce proudly the age of the criteria maximum like 16, 14, 13, and see my experience is 22, 15 to 17 years, but now they are my teachers in the age of 8 years. They have too much knowledge and they do out of the box, and they are the student of Rehan school. This is the beauty of our curriculum, that we are making leaders. So really, I feel really proud that I'm the part in this age. I'm the part of the Rehan school because I love my students and I feel they can teach me. So this is the amazing experience that students can teach us. And this is the proud moment for all the teachers. Am I right?
Can you repeat the question? This is the what?
I was saying that students are teachers nowadays. They have more knowledge rather than us. So what do you think? Am I right? Am I saying right that you have experience with your students in the past?
Um, I think that students, they have knowledge, more knowledge. Let's see. They have knowledge. They certainly have knowledge, and they have, with the technology, and they have the courage or whatever to try different things where we might be more careful. Should I press this? Should I do that? They just kind of go for it. Um, the life knowledge they don't have, because they haven't lived that. They haven't lived as long as you. And that's the part that I really want to advocate for, is that I feel like, yes, the technology is good, and yes, the young people, they they can know more things than the older people. But the truth of it is, in life, we're all going to get old, and we're all going to not. There will be a point at which they won't know something, and a younger generation. So it's really important as the elders that we don't underestimate ourselves on what we bring to the classroom, because we don't know the there's so much adversity, especially right now in the world, that um, that what we have as a human being to human being to give each other is way more important than chat GPT and AI and all of this. I mean, if electricity goes out, you don't have any of that. You just have each other. And that's really important. So um, I hear what you're saying, and I agree with all of that. But I also think it's important that the the teachers, that we honor ourselves. I mean, look at Rayhan's school. Rayhan, he's a person, right? And so he's someone who's trying to lead and do this. That's something. He's a person, and everybody's a person. So that can't be ignored on that unseen gift that we were brought into this world with. What is that?
What is that?
What is your gift? What is your gift? I mean, that's part of a, I think, a teacher's job, a guide in the classroom. When what is the light, what is your particular light that you bring to the world? And a teacher, an elder, can see, if they are looking with the right kinds of eyes, they can see, oh, this child has a gift right here. Let me help help them see their own light in this area.
Gretchen, I would like know that the lesson or the experience that, as you have mentioned, that you have worked across different cultures or communities. So, what have you learned about the universal languages of kindness or connections?
Um, the universal language of kindness uh, is a smile. that's that's that always opens doors and helps people feel comfortable. In my experience, it helps me feel comfortable when someone smiles at me. Then I go, "Whew!" You know, it it's nice to have that. I was in Mali, West Africa, years ago, and I was in a taxi, and there was a truck with a whole bunch of people in the back of the truck. And this boy, who was probably about 13, for some reason, our eyes met. I don't know, it was one of those magical situations. And he was looking at me, I was looking at him, and we both smiled, like, kind of had the smile, like, I felt like we knew each other, like, yeah, here we are in life. It's like, um, sometimes I wonder, wow, is that a soul that I knew somewhere, in another lifetime or something? A soul, like soul to soul, and we were like just smiling. Here we are in busy Bamako, Mali. Um, so smiles are really important, and also um, what I've learned, and I'm not always so great at, is trying to know a little bit of the someone else's language. and eating their food and liking their food and participating in their dances. So a smile, a little bit of the language, eating the local food, and enjoying dancing with them.
So now we can say that smile is the language of love and the language of connections, right? Amazing, amazing, amazing. So, Gretchen, in the last, I would like to ask that if you want to give a title or title of the book in your whole life according to your personality, so what would it be?
Let's see. What comes off the top of my head is love and peace.
And I guess I did the power of a smile.
Yeah, that's a good one too.
Yeah, the power smile, which I can observe in your personality and I can feel. You know, this called the positive vibes that you are transforming to me, and this is the power of smile. Your power of smile.
Thank you. Thank you.
So, in the last, for me and for my listener, would you like to add any powerful message for all of us in just a minute? So, please share with all of us.
Uh, wow. I would just like to share, I think what we've been saying is smiling and saying hello. And while everybody's getting better at AI and technology and all of that, remember your fellow human being and smile and help each other out, and um, especially those who might be disabled or elderly, the young ones, the people who have the strength and the energy. Um, Smile and please remember those less fortunate, and um, do what you can for humankind and nature while you're learning technology.
That is great. You know, after this conversation, that I am thinking that I have to visit the ChatGPT, and I will give the title "The Power is Smile," and I will ask to the ChatGPT write a short book with the amazing title, cover title, and dedicate to Miss Gretchen Rowe. So I will do this. You know, I'm just thinking that I have to know more about the power of a smile, as I believe that the power of thinking positive. But now I will search about by the usage of ChatGPT the power of a smile, and I'll write some short book and give it to you as a gift from my side.
Okay, thank you.
So thank you so much, Ms. Kitchen Rowe, for your time and for the experience you share with all of us and the journey about your life and with your student. Thank you so much and take care. My students will connect you, my team will connect you to know more about you and to do podcast. So thanks for your time. Thanks from my side. Thanks from Pakistan and accept my little heart. Not little. This is the big heart. Thank you.
Thank you too. Thank you. Thank you for
Bye
having me.
bye.
Bye bye.